Hey, this is Karnak with Star Wars Armada Explained. Today we're going to look at the Imperial Admiral Screed. If you look there in front of his name, you'll see a bullet point in front of it. Signifies that he is unique, meaning you can only bring one of him in your fleet. He is faction specific to the Imperials only. Right there next to his point cost, you'll see that symbol when his point cost is 26. You'll notice he doesn't have any upgrade icons because he's a commander, meaning he can equip to any ship except flotillas. His card reads, once per activation, when a friendly ship is attacking, it may spend one die to change a die to a face with a critical icon. He does have one minor clarification. It reads, this card's effect can resolve during any ship or squadron activation. Now, why is that a clarification? That doesn't seem to really make sense. Why could he resolve during anybody's activation? Wouldn't it only just be the ship that's attacking that would matter? Well, there's an interesting caveat. We'll get into it. I'll explain it. So Screed, in his most basic form, essentially you can cancel a die to change one of your die to a facing with a critical icon. That's pretty much all there is to it. So we're going to say that this ISD is a Kuat version, which throws 3 red, 2 blue, and 3 black from the front. We'll say it's equipped with assault concussion missiles. It wants to try to trigger these assault concussion missiles in order to get extra damage. Now, I've already rolled an initial attack pool here, which that's a really good attack pool to start off with. Doesn't seem like you'd need anything to cancel to change anything to anything else. Now, let's give this an example of maybe you're attacking a ship that has Brunson or Abnomition. Maybe you're attacking a ship that's got Lando. Because Brunson, what does she do? Well, excuse me, she's allowed to cancel a die of her choosing in the spend defense token step. Meaning, even though you have this one hit crit showing, she can cancel that die, and now you're not able to trigger assault concussion missiles. If you're trying to kill the MC30 Abnomition title, again, he's got the ability where he can discard one of his defense tokens to cancel a die. So you actually need to double up on this in order to get any damage in. Or in the case of Lando, if you've got excuse me, multiple hit crits showing, well, you want to force him to re-roll those die. But he's going to be forced to re-roll those die to try to undo the hit crit symbol. But it also gives you a chance that you then re-roll back into hit crit, however slim it may be. So in this scenario, we really don't need these accuracies, we'll say. So we're going to cancel this red die, and we're going to set one of these black die to a hit crit. Excuse me, recovering from being sick. So now you've changed something that would potentially, accuracy maybe not giving you a whole lot of benefit. You've changed that to now you're dealing 2 damage. So more damage, you still have an accuracy to lock down an important token. Hopefully they don't have ECM. But now even if they try to cancel these die, your chances of ACMs proccing and getting through is much higher. Now remember, this is only once per activation, so you can only do this once per activation with one of your ships in one attack. So if you used it on your first attack, if your ship makes a second attack, you can't use it then. Obviously, if you don't use it in a first attack, you can use it in any follow-on attack. Now note that it doesn't have a restriction against what kind of target you are attacking. You can trigger this ability against ships or against one squadron. Now Screed does not allow your squadrons at all to use this ability. Just as a note, because there are definitely some people like, well, my ship is activating the squadron and it can use it. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Screed, only the ship itself can use Screed's ability, not squadrons. It doesn't say a friendly ship or squadron. It doesn't say any squadrons activated by a friendly ship. It just says when a friendly ship is attacking. So only that ship itself can utilize the Screed ability, or rather your ships. Again, once per activation. But if you did have it, for example, some people will run a Gladiator with Demolisher, with Flechette torpedoes, or Flechette torpedoes, excuse me, and Agent Callus. And, with that version, if you're able to attack any unique enemy squadrons, you can absolutely throw, the one blue anti-blue or 2 anti-squadron blue die that it can throw in an attack. Obviously, Callus allows you to add a black or any color die to the attack. So if you were using a gladiator to throw an anti-squadron attack, you add in Agent Callus's ability to add a black die. You theoretically could, if you don't naturally roll the hit crit, cancel the blue anti-squadron die to change that black die into a hit crit for a guaranteed, locking down an enemy squadron with flechette torpedoes. Because if the flechette torpedoes get off, you can activate an enemy squadron that has not yet activated. That's where some people can have found some use for him. He's kind of fallen out of favor because why not Vader? You can just re-roll your attack pool if you need to. But he still sees some limited use here and there. Now, so that's how Screed works. Let's get into the interesting interaction that he has with quad laser turrets and with Agent Callus. This is the only way that this is able to work. So if you do have a ship, in this example, we'll say the Star Destroyer, has equipped quad laser turrets and Agent Callus. When an enemy squadron comes up to attack your ship, okay, regardless if your ship has already activated or not yet activated, when it is, attacked by a squadron, it is temporarily activating your ship to conduct a counterattack. Remember, an attack, you can still utilize any other card effects that you have. It's still considered an attack. And essentially, by definition now of FFG, saying that if Screed's ability can be used during any ship or squadron attack or any squadron's activation, it's meaning that it doesn't matter if that ship is being activated by you or if it's being attacked and quad laser turrets are coming to life to shoot. That's technically during either a squad or an enemy ship's activation. Not that you can counterfire any enemy ships, but if you could, technically Screed would be able to work. But let's back up to this current example. So if an enemy squad flies up, shoots your Star Destroyer, you shoot back with your quad laser turret, which is always the one blue die. We'll say it's a unique squadron, so you can add in Agent Callus's die. We'll say it's a black die. And in this case, it comes up blank. Now, let's say that this blue die came up to be an accuracy. Now, you could use Screed's ability to cancel that blue die and set this die to a hit crit. Okay? And you can do that once per squadron activation. So, if, for example, if it got Yavaris double tapped and it's attacking you twice, you could only use Screed's ability once in that squadron's 2 attacks. Or again, you can use Screed's ability. Granted, it's a unique squadron that you're attacking with quad laser turrets and Agent Callus. That is the only caveat thing that is allowed. It was really strange when they put that out in the FAQ, but that is the reasoning for it, is that you are allowed to do this. This is the only thing that you can do that is allowed for why they would say that. Now, some people are saying, but that doesn't make any sense because, like, for example, your ship's already activated. You've already done once per activation. Well, again, in the FAQ, it says during any ship or squadron activation. Now, remember, enemy ships are their own activation. Enemy squadrons are their own activation. You might be a little bit confused by that. Why are squadrons their own activation? Well, remember, squadrons, if they're commanded by a ship, or otherwise if they are not, during the squadron phase, remember it says they activate one at a time. Okay, so they're still activating, you're still flipping that marker from either red to blue or blue to red, you're still activating a squadron. You can only resolve one squadron's movement or attack at one time before moving on to another one. Squadrons are still their own unique activation. Each ship is still its own unique activation. I.e., therefore, when a squadron, if it is activated by ship, if it flies up and attacks your Star Destroyer, or even if it isn't and it does it, for example, if it's rogue, it is its own unique activation, and thus qualifies for each trigger of being able to be attacked back with quad laser turrets and utilizing Agent Callus. And then if you have that whiff, like I just demonstrated, you can Screed that whiff into at least 1 damage. As long as you're using Agent Callus and you're throwing that black die back at him. So that is what that all means. So that's Admiral Screed. Of course, if you have any questions, if you feel like anything is in error, please be sure to comment. Let me know. Again, apologize about the coughing, recovering from being sick. I'm going to be at Worlds, so if you want to come up and talk to me there, feel free to do so. But I'll catch you guys at the next video. Catch you later. Oh, not that button. Here we go.